Welcome to rSlash Am I the Butthole, where OP blows up his parents' marriage. Am I the butthole for ruining my parents' marriage by finding my biological father and exposing my mom's lies? I'm a 19-year-old guy, and I always knew that my dad wasn't my biological dad, and it was never a huge deal. I knew that I was loved either way. Mom always told us that my biological father hadn't wanted to be a dad and walked away once he learned she was pregnant. When I was 12, I started struggling with health issues, and we were repeatedly asked for family medical background. Mom swore she reached out to ask biological dad for any insight on his side, but he refused to give it. At the time, we were told that it would be ideal to find out more if we could, but if not, they would do their best to treat me. My adopted dad and I talked about it a lot, and he comforted me when I was upset that this guy who made me hated me so much that he wouldn't even help me for a medical problem. This meant added complications and always having to explain to new doctors I was referred to that I only had half my family medical history and I couldn't get more. And really, it just sucked to think that he cared so little if I could be seriously ill or not. A year ago, my aunt, my mom's sister, told me that things might not be like they seemed, and maybe it'd be a good idea to search for answers myself. She said the worst that could happen is he refuses to answer or get mad at me for making contact. I asked her what she meant about things not being what they seemed, but she was tight-lipped on it, so I did a 23andMe. I ended up matched with a paternal aunt, and from there, Mom's lies were exposed to me. My paternal aunt was shocked to learn about me, and she told me she was 100% certain that her brother had no idea either. She was a go-between for us at first to help set up contacting a face-to-face meeting. When I met my biological dad, he had medical info waiting for me, and he told me it was a thing that I inherited from his side, and he would be a donor if I ever needed one. He was also apologizing the whole time for not knowing me, and he swore he was never told Mom was pregnant. They broke up because she cheated, and he never heard from her again, or her sister, my aunt, who pushed me to search. He got along with my aunt during his relationship with my mom. The medical info helped, and I told him I'd have way more questions once I processed. Then I went to talk to Mom. At first, she said that it was all lies. Then she asked why I searched without saying anything, and when I told her why, she admitted it was true. She said she met my dad after the guy she cheated on my biological father with left her, and she came up with the lie so that we could be a normal family. And she never told my biological dad about me even after I got sick because she wanted to keep things as they were. I was hurt, but so was my dad. He was mad that she denied my biological father and me the chance to know each other, but also that she lied to him the whole time they'd known each other. He felt like she made him complicit in keeping me and my biological father apart. And he was super angry that she was willing to make my health stuff more difficult because I didn't have the full background, rather than do the right thing and expose her lies years ago for my sake. The medical info I got was actually helpful for my medical team, so it was worth it in that sense. But it's ruined my relationship with my mom, and my parents' marriage is done. My dad wants a divorce and already moved out of their house. My siblings blame me for it because they know what went down between us all. Am I the butthole? Well, OP, even though you have one terrible mom, sounds like you got two great dads. Building a relationship on top of a lie is bad enough, but then upholding that lie while your son is sick and getting worse is crazy behavior. I don't blame your adoptive dad for dipping after that. I'd be disgusted by my partner if she did that. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your mom 4.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for pulling away from my identical twin sister even though I know it's caused her to spiral? I'm an 18-year-old girl and an identical twin. Our parents encouraged an insanely close to the point of codependency relationship, and my sister fell hard into it while I resented the hell out of it. Our parents even named us super similarly. My sister is Katie and I'm Casey, and the spelling of our name was chosen intentionally. Our parents wanted us to match always. My parents and sister always expected us to do everything together. We shared a bedroom and bid our whole lives until June. That's when I packed up my stuff and I moved out of our parents' house. Our parents insisted to every school we went to and every teacher we had that we'd be in the same class and sitting next to each other all year. When we had field trips, we were to be each other's buddy. If one of us was invited to a birthday party, then the other was assumed to be invited too, regardless of whether they were or not. All of our extracurriculars were the same, and it was effing miserable for me because I hated them. Those were all my sister's interests, not mine. Anytime I tried to set boundaries with my sister, she'd discard them and would carry on as normal. And normal for us was being codependent and super enmeshed. I was never very close to our parents, but I gave up on ever having a good relationship with them when I was 11. And they got mad at me for keeping a secret from my sister. They actually accused me of bullying because I wanted to keep a friend to myself. That's how bad things were. My sister has always hated when someone liked me and wanted to be my friend but didn't like her or want to be her friend. For my sister, we're one and the same. If you like one, you like both. She doesn't see us as our own individual people, just twins. Identical twins who are alike in every single way possible. I remember being in the hospital when I was 14 and she wasn't allowed to stay with me. And my parents were removed from the hospital for abusing the staff over enforcing the rules that no minors could stay overnight. I was released after 2 days, and those were the best nights of sleep that I'd had up until that point. I also felt like I got some breathing room, which was needed. My sister never slept. She was an absolute mess because I wasn't there. It made me wish I could have stayed in the hospital indefinitely. We were supposed to go to the same college and live together, and our parents planned on bullying admin at our school of choice into assigning us as roommates. But then I acted like I wasn't going to college. I stayed with a friend, and I blocked my family for a while before me and my friend moved out of state to a community college. I just started everything. I got a job too so I can support myself, which is also my reason for community college. I did unblock my sister, and it's been awful. I've debated whether I block her again or not to, but if I do, I know that it'll be a forever thing. There's no doing it for now. If I block her again, I won't ever have a relationship with her again, so I'm trying not to and seeing if she can try and grow. But she fell apart without me. She's already dropped out of college. She's back living with our parents. She's pleaded with me to come and take her home with me. Our parents used her phone to call me and say I'm awful for pulling away from my sister who needs me. They said that I'm being abusive and accused me of trying to kill her with this. I can see her downward spiral, but I just can't be enmeshed with her for the rest of my life. I want to be me, not Katie's twin, Casey. Am I the butthole? OP, clearly you're just trying to be your own person and live your own life, which is understandable. The real villains of this story are the parents. They made you share a bed until the age of 18? Huh? And now this accusation of you trying to kill your sister is just clear emotional manipulation. I'm honestly not surprised that the two twin sisters here reacted to their parents' abusive behavior in completely opposite rules. One becoming super independent, the other balking at any attempt at control whatsoever. So I'm not inclined to be too harsh to the twin in this story because, she was abused basically, and she just never realized that she was, and she kind of just accepted the abuse. So I'm giving OP 0 out of 5 buttholes, and I think also the twin 0 out of 5 buttholes, but I'm giving the parents 4 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for saying to my wife that what she's doing is weaponized incompetence, just like how men do it? I'm a 24-year-old guy, and I'm on a work trip to another city, not too far away. While I'm away, my 24-year-old wife has been home alone. I would like to mention here that both of us have lived alone. She called me a couple of days ago to tell me that she's craving a dish I make when I'm home. I sent her a recipe. But she spent the rest of the day calling me at regular intervals to ask or complain about specific ingredients and how each step is done. How long do I boil the pasta? Should I try it with a fork? Do I cube the onion? Okay, but can I also slice it? Yesterday, she sent me a picture of a small towel shelf in the bathroom attached by a suction that had fallen off. I sent her back the message, "Oh, whoops, you probably need to get a new one from IKEA. That's not going back on." She then proceeds to not talk about it for the rest of the day. I figure she handled it. Today, she calls me about how annoying it is to have the towels on the counter. I ask her why she hasn't gone to IKEA and attached the new one. She says she doesn't know which one to get. The hell? I get annoyed and tell her she's using weaponized incompetence, distracting me and expecting me to handle basic life tasks from hundreds of kilometers away. I ask, what is she going to do if the roof collapses? Wait till I get back to call someone? Or will she Google it? I'm fine with her calling me, but oh my god, it's annoying if someone is just being lazy and complaining about the same stuff. She gets a little heated and said that she genuinely just doesn't know how to do that. It's a suction cup. And that the term weaponized incompetence is only for feminist issues about men's systematic behavior towards women, and that I'm being ignorant by abusing the language. I will also mention here that this isn't some huge fight. We talk about political stuff a lot. So, was I the butthole? I'm just mad because this is basic life skills stuff that I'm sure she would deal with if she were single. Yeah, that's not really a gender-specific term. Guys can use it on guys or girls can use it on girls, and girls can use it on guys. Anyone can use it, basically, to just manipulate other people to do work that they don't want to do. You need to make a decision, OP, because this is the type of behavior that's never gonna go away. Am I the butthole for kicking my uncle out of his house? I'm a 23-year-old guy, and I was very close to my grandfather who passed away last year. He left me his entire estate, including the house after my grandma divorced him. Before he passed, my grandma asked him to let her son, my uncle, a 50-year-old guy who's not biologically related to my grandfather, rent the house. They set up a 3-year contract for $1,800 a month, and at the end, he could buy the house for $377,000. The contract ends this November. After a lengthy probate process, the house is now officially in my name. My uncle asked if I'd extend the contract because of high interest rates, but I didn't want to. I'm hoping to buy my own home soon. My grandma pressured me saying, "It's family," so I reluctantly agreed to extend it for 3 more years. While I was waiting for a new contract to be drafted, my uncle asked if he could start construction on the house. I said no, but then a friend of mine who was doing the work told me that my uncle had already started construction without my permission. I went to check it out, and sure enough, major work had been done without permits. I confronted him, and he denied it until I showed him photos. He claimed it was his house and that he could do what he wanted. Later, during a family holiday, my uncle and his girlfriend ambushed me, proposing a 5-year contract with lenient rent terms, no restrictions on construction, and permission to sublet. I refused and said that I'd have my lawyer draft the contract instead. During probate, my uncle and his girlfriend discussed what they would prefer contract-wise, which left it more open-ended. I continuously listened to their wants. However, I told them in the end I would send them a contract drafted by my lawyer once the house was in my name. A few months later, my uncle, his girlfriend, and my grandmother sent me the 5-year contract they proposed during the family holiday. I firmly declined. My grandmother then called and berated me for not signing, claiming that if it weren't for her, I wouldn't have inherited anything from my grandpa. At that point, I lost my temper and said, "You have to be effing kidding me." She responded, "Your grandpa would be disappointed in you for using that language with me." I replied, "Don't use my grandpa against me," and hung up. Since then, my grandma and uncle have cut me off. I had my lawyers draft a new contract. 3 years, no subletting, and a clause requiring my approval for construction. The rest of the original contract is the same. Now my uncle is saying he can only qualify for $350K instead of the $377K he owes. And my family is pressuring me to accept the lower offer, accusing me of forcing him out. I want to know why it's up to OP to make special allowances for family, but not the grandmother or the uncle or the uncle's girlfriend. How come they don't have to make special concessions for family? After all, the guy's 50. He should have his life together right now. You're 23. If anyone needs a boost in life, it's you. A bunch of self-serving, manipulative hypocrites. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I would evict them immediately. I'm giving everyone else 2.5 out of 5 buttholes. That was rSlash Am I the Butthole, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.